Welcome to the Hawks Sports Network. It is great to have you with us for Game 2 of our doubleheader tonight. The men's teams take the court. We'll step aside as we have some pre-game introductions on the way from our public address announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineups. Firstly, for visiting Sheridan Bruins. Starting up from Oakville, Ontario, number 5, David Ugobor. From Wineland, Ontario, number 6, Cohen Reimer. From Meansville, Ontario, number 7, Gavin Elzinga. From Mississauga, Ontario, number 8, Joshua King. From Orangeville, Ontario, number 10, Ken Tong. From Georgetown, Ontario, number 17, Andrew Bonney. The libero from Mississauga, number 1, Ty Nguyen. And the head coach for Sheridan Bruins, Liam Butchwright. All right, Hawks Nation, please welcome your starters. Firstly from Toronto, Ontario, number 2, Nazir Francis. From Belleville, Ontario, number 4, Michael McCollpie. From Markham, Ontario, inside number 5, Josh Nicholson. From Brampton, Ontario, number 8, Kyle Gray Phillips. From Mississauga, Ontario, number 11, Alec Lottie. And from Ottawa, Ontario, number 16, David Blackmore. The liberos for the game. From Kharkiv, number 1, Mikhailo Saidov. And lastly, from Scarborough, Ontario, number 15, Alex Segai. The head coach for your Humber Hawks is Wade Wilkins.
And we are almost underway. My name is Matt Hamill alongside my broadcast partner, Zach Benoit, as we get set for the first home game of the season for the Humber Hawks. They have not lost a set in their previous 2 wins this season. Sheridan has only 1 game. That was a win, a 5-set barn burner that they were able to capture the W against Mohawk. Should be a fun rivalry matchup here today. Crosstown rivals in the Hawks' Nest.
Yeah, we saw the crosstown rivalry in the women's matchup, but I think it should be even better in this men's matchup here. The Sheridan Bruins, they're a team that is slowly getting better every single year in the OCAA. The Humber Hawks, but we know how dominant they have been over so many years, and they're currently the reigning champions here in the OCAA. Should be another fantastic matchup. And you see the coaches right here on the screen, Liam Butchwright and head coach Wayne Wilkins. Those two are going to go back and forth here in this one.
Yeah, Coach Wilkins, 29 years at the helm. When my broadcast partner was just a twinkle in his father's eye, Coach Wilkins already at the helm of this team. Look at those uniforms for Humber. They'll get the first point on a service error by the double blue, but Zach, little City Connect vibe with these Humber jerseys. Pretty gosh darn cool.
Yeah, Humber's men's team, they went through a transition with the jerseys. They have 3 new ones, and they're all stunning.
And how about that for a response as the game now tied 1-1 thanks to David Ugabor. And a service ace as the Sheridan Bruins now take the lead. Cowan Reimer, a first-year player by way of Vineland. Shout out to the Niagara region. And Reimer with another serve, and that thing's got some heat on it. Upset up to McAlpine. Michael McAlpine wearing number 4 this year, and now in his 3rd year as a Humber Hawk. Blackmore, who's led the Hawks in scoring this year, able to get a hit that results in a point for the Hawks. And now Blackmore, who is also a very dangerous server, is at the line right now, Zach.
Yeah, 13 kills on the year, 20 points total. The next closest in points, 12 behind it. Taven Blackmore, who's been electric.
6 service aces in only 2 games as well, Zach. So that is certainly some impressive output from the Hawks. One of their star offensive players. The point not going to go their way as he puts it long, serve long. Ugabor gets that into play. And that's a little kind of caught up into the body, and Sheridan called for the violation, and another point for the Hawks. 3-3 our score, and serving now for Humber, number 11, Alec Loney.
Loney, another one of the players that have been here for so long. Just knows that winning tradition here for the Humber Hawks.
And set up quickly there, up at the net for Francis. Humber with the chance. Francis once again, and the second time for number 2, not denied there. And Humber now up by a single point.
Yeah, Nazir Francis, we've seen so many bigs, or middles, I should say, for Humber. Francis, not as tall as some of them, but he has the vertical.
And that is a well-set ball. Good blocking effort there by the Hawks. McAlpine and Francis in on the mix. Now Francis on the other side, along with Kyle Gray-Phillips, blocking that. Set up to Kyle Gray-Phillips, and that's going to be a good blocking effort by Sheridan, who get the game tied back up. So Zach, early in this first set, great back and forth play.
Yeah, we've seen it, and this is kind of what we expected to see. And the guy right now at the line, Gavin Elzinga, who was sensational last year for the Sheridan Bruins, one of the top point getters in the OCAA. He was electrifying.
Good dig there as Blackmore keeps it alive. Set up for Michael McAlpine, and the tall fella, 6'8", and able to get the job done for Humber that time.
McAlpine, well, we know he can McFly. He is a very talented player. He came on the scene as a rookie a couple of seasons ago and got that starting job almost instantaneously because of his size and power.
And a good-looking serve in terms of power. Dialed it up a little too long, though. Now serving for the Sheridan Bruins, Ken Matong. And that is handled by Blackmore. McAlpine from well off the net. It's going to find a little sweet spot there. And, that time, maybe not as much power, just kind of volleyball IQ. A well-positioned ball for Michael McAlpine. Gives Humber back the 1-point lead, and it's going to be Kyle Gray-Phillips, KGP, serving.
4th-year player. Humber have a lot of wily veterans on this team. KGP, just another one of those guys.
We're going to need like an inside look. I know you got some great insight, Zach, on these uniforms that we're going to see from Humber this year, but I'm not over how cool those white and black City Skyline jerseys look for the Hawks in the 6.
Yeah, they are some spectacular jerseys.
And that will not quite work out for Sheridan that time. Sent a little long by Joshua King. And now on the other side, Nazir Francis. all ready to go here. Francis not going to get it over the net, just a bit under.
Yeah, Humber, so just quickly going to the jerseys, they have another blue-colored one with a nice little camo approach to it, and then they have to go with the classic gold with the hawk on the side. But yeah, these City Connect ones are pretty clean.
That time a diving effort by Josh Nicholson. Can't get under it. That allows the visiting team to take a narrow lead here in the opening set. And we're gonna have a pause in the action while we mop up. You see there, Nicholson's getting right in on the action.
Not only a fantastic setter, but he's a workhorse cleaning that court too.
Yeah, real blue-collar guy. You know,
blue-collar guy. That's a guy right there that I would trust with my lawn.
Indeed, my friend. Serve on the way from Andrew Bonney, a first-year player. Lots of first-year guys on this Sheridan team. We'll see if the experience for Humber maybe gives them an advantage. Blackmore seemingly pausing in midair, but returned by Sheridan. Blocking effort is there, but it's going to careen out of bounds. And Sheridan now up by 2.
This is just a new and improved Sheridan team, it feels like. And they're bouncing back. They're getting stronger and stronger, it feels, with every single year.
And up high for Blackmore. Again, that is Humber's so far most dangerous offensive weapon. And don't be surprised if that continues to be the case throughout the season. Number 16 with another point there, as Blackmore really leading the way early in the season offensively for his team. Outstanding defensive player as well. Up at the net for Sheridan. All over it there. McAlpine, a contested shot at the net. And that's hit into Humber's back row. Now set up once again for McAlpine. And that is an absolute laser beam. It finds the inside mark for another Humber point.
Yeah, that is just Michael McAlpine at its finest. That 6'8" frame, like you mentioned, he gets up there and he gets able to just go down on the ball. It is beautiful when he's able to get all of his power in a swing.
Off the net now. Good block there. Blackmore and Loney in the mix. Strong shot. Stepping up is KGP. And that ties the game back up. Pardon me, Zach. That will give Humber the slight edge here.
Last year, the 2023-2024 standings, Sheridan finished 3-15. Humber finishing 12-6.
Into that middle area. Sheridan teeing it up at the net. 3 Humber blockers there and not able to get that shot over the net. Give credit to Humber, Zach. They were well positioned defensively there, but the miss hit will give Humber now a 2-point lead. Up high at the net, McAlpine. Again, we've seen another high IQ play from number 4. So really seeing the maturation of Humber's Michael McAlpine now in his 3rd year of OCAA action. But as you mentioned, in his rookie campaign, right away the big fella made a big impact.
Yeah, made a giant impact, went into that starting rotation right away in the first year. Fell back a little bit, became a kind of a rotational guy last year, but he was still very important, and he's starting out here. And he's had a good start to this 3rd season. It's been solid, really, all the way through. But again, just looking at the standings last year, Sheridan were 3-15, and I don't really think their season, their record kind of indicated how well they actually did play. They were close in a lot of games. It was just, this division was contested with such good teams. Conestoga, Fanshawe, St. Clair, Cambrian, Niagara, all finishing over 500. Humber, also another team up there finishing over 500. And the Hawks, they finished 12-6, and they were able to take the OCAA championship. So very impressive to see right there.
Yeah.
Take one more look here.
And just to finish your thought, Zach, that was Humber's 4th consecutive OCAA championship they captured last year and had to settle for 4th place in the national tournament. The year before that, Humber hosted the Volleyball Nationals, taking home silver. An absolutely thrilling tournament there Humber hosted. Zach, we've seen in that replay really indicative of how Humber has turned it on the last 2 rallies and allowed themselves to stretch this out to a 4-point lead We'll see if they can continue creating some separation, or is this cute little fan going to be disappointed by the Sheridan Bruins closing the gap? She seems a little more interested in what's going on behind the action, but she'll learn one day, Zach.
Learn one day, the action's on the court.
Good blocking effort there. Loney and Blackmore all over it. Set up for McAlpine. This time, not going for the IQ play. He's going for the power. And another first set point for Michael McAlpine. He's seen him kind of mixing it up here with different types of shots. Uncorking there, allowing Nicholson another chance to serve here. Kind of a scrambled, broken play for Sheridan, and that's going to give Humber a good look at the net. Not a great set there for McAlpine. He has to just volley it over. On the other side for Sheridan, tipped, and Segui tried his best to get under it. Kind of wild play on both sides, that rally, and Sheridan comes away with it and closes the gap to 4.
Yeah, Alex Segui, I mean, he's one of those players, when he's the libero, he does such a good job at just covering ground. Him and Nicholson, they're kind of like a 1-2 tandem. They're everywhere.
And the service error will give the point right back to Humber and give that 5-point lead right back to the home team. Blackmore, such a dangerous service weapon, but once again, Zach, the service error as he sends it a bit long. So really get the impression number 16 is trying to put everything into these serves and hasn't quite dialed it in here on this Wednesday evening.
Yeah, we know how much power he has behind the serves. I think that's the main thing. And oh my
gracious
Lord.
Yeah, another one of those plays that makes me happy to be at a broadcast booth and not playing in this game, Zach. That was a terrifyingly powerful shot from Blackmore and something he's been doing all year. Maybe see a few more exciting shots like that here tonight. If I was a betting man, I would say yes.
You would take the over.
Popped up here as Kyle got under it, but a violation charged against the Hawks. But Zach, Humber in a good position here in the first set. They've established a little cushion. As the set has progressed, they've been able to hang on to that 4-5 point lead type of situation. But Sheridan with the serve now, chance to get back here. And that is well played by Blackmore. And up front at the net for Francis and give Humber back that 5-point lead.
Yeah, and when you have a player that can play both sides of the ball so well like Blackmore can, that right there just dictates how good of a player you have, because that dig sets up that play perfectly for the Hawks.
Michael McAlpine has a good weapon with his serves as well. He has 2 service aces on the year. Almost picked up number 3 there. McAlpine comes in to play it. Just placed over the net. That's teed up for Kyle Gray-Phillips, who smashes it down. Humber now stretching out to a 6-point lead.
This is the Humber Hawks reigning defending team that we were so used to seeing. And
the Humber women's team coach, Chris Wilkins, in the stand. Brother Wayne working the 1s and 2s at the helm for the Hawks men's team. And how do you like that? So good fight here from Sheridan as they were able to close it back, bring it within 5. But Zach, we've just seen offensive weaponry for Humber on full display. Particularly McAlpine and Blackmore have put a stamp on the game here early on. Tong with the serve for Sheridan. That's going to get set up for Kyle Gray-Phillips. Tong plays it up. Nguyen sets it on that far side for the Bruins. And Reimer not able to keep that one in play.
Rolled down the net, tried to go across the net instead of going down the line. Maybe saw an opening, but just couldn't get it over top of the net. He just landed it right on his side.
And the head coach for Sheridan, Liam Butchwright, sees his team in a bit of a jam as Humber is up 6. We're getting late in the set. Kyle Gray-Phillips with the serve. Teed up here, back on that near side. And another point for Sheridan.
Yeah, head coach Butchwright, actually a former player here for the Sheridan Bruins. He was a player 4 years ago and then immediately kind of took over in the coaching role. And he's been there for 3 straight years.
Got great hair, solid goatee.
It's a good combo.
And see if he can lead his team here late in the set with some strategy to close the gap. McAlpine not able to play it too hot to handle. And now within fours. Sheridan getting some crucial points here, not allowing Humber to get to that 20-point threshold, and maybe a chance to even things up as we head into the, let's say, fourth quarter of this first set.
Yeah, that was a big play right there. They were able to keep the ball up on the net after a big-time block, and then they're just able to set something up and get the point. That's just a massive sway.
And yeah, a big service error there as Humber now at that 20-point mark, and Nazir Francis will serve. Francis, number 2 in Humber scoring on the season. He has 3 service aces, not going to find one there as he puts it into the net.
He sits 4th place in kills, and right there, it's just impressive to say the least of how deep this Humber Hawks team is.
Yeah, Humber coming into this game, Zach, has 18 total service aces, and that's good enough for first in the OCAA. Keep in mind, Humber one of the only few teams that have played more than one game. Let's take a second look here, Zach. Tell me what you see.
There's a good play set up right here. Nicholson, the back set to McAlpine, and then that's just what Michael McAlpine has been doing his entire career here as a Hawk, is just finding openings. He has such great deception if he's going to go cross-court down the line because of his frame as a lefty.
Caleb Hewitt puts it in. Oh, actually, it's just out of play right by the official on that near side of the court. Reimer now with a chance. The first-year player will do a fantastic serve, and that's good enough for the ace. Blackmore laid out for it, Zach, but just a well-executed serve from the rookie.
Yeah, again, you got to credit that serve, like you said, had some great spin on it. And the Bruins, they're holding strong here, only down by a few.
Going to send that one long, so not able to follow up. The ace followed by the error, and that is kind of the situation Humber can take at this stage, because if we can just kind of go tit for tat the next few points, that will lock up a first set victory.
I think the dangerous thing is Blackmore, his serves haven't hit yet.
And yet another miscue. So the bright shining star early in the season for Humber looked good in certain areas of the court here today, but still looking to dial in that serve. But Zach, once he does, that could be some trouble for the Bruins to defend.
Yeah, and when you look at it, you think if he's been able to go on some runs, this set could have already been done, but Bruins, they're fighting. They're only 3 back now.
And that will be into the net. So again, a couple of late set service aces inch the Hawks closer towards their immediate goal. Substitution into the game. David Ogabor will head out for a moment. McAlpine just grazes that net. It's in play. Well executed there, as stepping up from the back row is the rookie once again, Cohen Reimer.
And this is just impressive from the Bruins. They're slowly building on up.
Another look there at Coach Chris Wilkins. Back on the court here in the men's game. Set up here for McAlpine. He gets a piece of it. Regrouping for the Hawks, well off the net. Francis puts it over. Set up here. That's going to be pushed long by Joshua King, bringing us to set point, Zach. 24-20.
Yeah, Humber have rocked and rolled in this set. Now it just get to the closing stages, and you got the right man at the line, Michael McAlpine, who has been electric so far.
Can he end it with a serve? McAlpine puts a lot of mustard on it. Boy, that was close for
that was
walk-off ace.
Millimeters away from being a walk-off ace.
Kenma Tong, third-year player. Big serve here, trying to keep his team away from that first set loss. He's going to send it long. And that'll do it for set number 1. Humber off to an early lead. And Zach, it was real neck and neck early on, but not didn't take Humber all that long to establish a little bit of separation, and ultimately that allowed the Hawks to cruise along to a first set victory.
Yeah, and really the Humber Hawks, they picked up a lead. They kind of held on to everything, and they played a pretty sound fundamental game right there. And look at what they were able to do. Working well so far, the Hawks. They are just poised and ready as ever.
Well, replay coming up here, Zach, and certainly a lot of highlights for the Hawks there in that first. We saw Michael McAlpine and really executing some excellent offense. But Nazir Francis, again, as I mentioned, only behind Blackmore in terms of leading the way for offensive output on this team.
And I think the other thing that's looking promising for the Hawks is, you talk about Blackmore leading the way, but everybody's getting up there with the kills, and I think that's a majorly important aspect of this team as well, is they're able to spread out the attack so well. And they showed it in that first set. Now we'll see how they continue it on into the second set.
So one set of play has worked out in favor of the Hawks. Both teams still huddled up. There's a look at that Sheridan bench. Both teams have swapped sides now. And there's a look at Wayne Wilkins. Cool down low angle on coach. As we mentioned, 29 years and the latest run of success. There's been a lot for that man right there at the helm for Humber, but 4 provincial championships in a row. 2 years ago capturing national silver. They were so close to a national gold on home court, but Zach, the Camosun Chargers had something else to say about that, as they often do at the national championship level.
Yeah, we got to see that Chargers team in person when Humber hosted the Nationals, and I mean, they were no joke, and they proved that they are the best in the nation when it comes to men's volleyball.
And a look at that Sheridan bench. You see on the right, assistant coach David Chi, 15 years with the Bruins. And there's head coach stepping into frame, the man with the golden goatee, as we mentioned before, Liam Butchwright. So it's time to get the second set underway. Humber will remain with a lot of their aces in the game. Looks like it's going to be Tay Blackmore checking in here. So keep an eye out for more electric Humber offense. On the other side, Zach, certainly was some bright spots for Sheridan. And it was a really close set, but it was just a time where Humber established a lead and just kind of hung on to it, Zach, when it mattered most, which was late into the set.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the side of the Sheridan Bruins, they played the set well. They played it very tight against the Humber Hawks, but at the end of the day, Humber, they are such a powerhouse team, and coming down in the stretch, they're able just to shut things down very, very well, and that's exactly what they did.
Josh Nicholson will start out serving for the Hawks. And on the year, Nicholson yet to record a service ace. He's really the kind of player that sets up his teammates for big kills. And how about that for a big kill to kick things off? Sheridan getting that first point of the second set. Looked like it was Gavin Elzinga. Serve put up there by Thompson. Pardon me, that was Bonnie. And Humber striking right back. Zach Benoit with a big shot there. Okay, Zach, so Blackmore has not yet quite dialed in his serves. Let's see if second set action is a little more friendly for his service game, which is absolutely electric when it's dialed in. Big block there. McAlpine is right in there with Loney for a big Humber point, and that's going to give Blackmore another chance to kind of get his rhythm set here.
Yeah, and that's also a big block by McAlpine because he blocked it, and it still tipped off of a Sheridan Bruin player before going back out of play. So Humber get the point, and they get to try to build a momentum here.
And that is just, once again, millimeters. Blackmore almost doesn't want to believe it. He's, you can tell, still trying to get in the groove here. But we've seen this young man in the groove here. Cohen Reimer, the first-year player, he's going to put it long. So service errors aplenty here in this game. Alec Loney now getting set up. Some fun hijinks from the Humber bench with Loney serving. That's put long. Humber, though, maybe got a piece of it, is what the ruling is. So another point for Sheridan. That brings up David Ugabor.
Just watching the antics on the bench. It's pretty fun being this up and close to the Humber Hawks. As Ugabor right there, the serves into the net. Humber able to take the lead.
And now Michael McAlpine has had some excellent offensive output for Humber, more so up at the net. Let's see what he's got here with the serve. And that will bring Sheridan's number 7, Gavin Elzinga, a fourth-year player with a chance to get his team the lead as we're all knotted up at 4 here early in the second. Blackmore plays it up. Nicholson with a nifty redirect, and that'll get the job done.
Partner, we saw a former Humber Hawk do that so many times as a setter. Jake Gomes would always do that, and Nicholson, another player that has that high IQ when it comes to presence at the net. He does a fantastic job right there.
Kyle Gray-Phillips serving for Humber. It's in play, soft touch at the net. Francis able to keep it alive. Blackmore now, big shot at the net, and the block was there on that near side. Well positioned for the Sheridan Bruins. So still kind of going back and forth here, Zach. Wonder if we'll see either team pull away here. Didn't take Humber very long into the first before they had really built a nice, comfortable lead. So far, neck and neck. And the rookie steps in there with the set for Humber. And Francis coming in and using the vertical leap to absolutely make that one a no-doubter. Humber taking back a 1-point lead.
That is a fantastic, fantastic block by Nazir Francis. Oh, man. Humber, they have some exciting plays already in this game.
Up front at the net, Blackmore got a piece of it. Popped up by Tong. And out of play, and Humber will like the result there. One more look here, Zach.
Yeah, Humber, they're playing a very smart game right now. You can see they're trying to signal Sheridan. They're trying to just signal of what play they want to pull, but Humber are just playing it so well.
Good serve there from Nazir. Big block up front. Loney got a piece of it. And into the net as Reimer not able to get that one where he wanted it.
And this is where things get so dangerous if you're the Sheridan Bruins, because Humber, they're starting to go on a run here. They're starting to build up this lead, now up to 3.
Big shot by Nazir Francis off the serve. Teed up on that near side by Elzinga. Kept alive here, second chance. Elzinga more of a softer bump that time. And teed up for Loney, who finishes the job. And great to see Alec Loney in his 3rd year of OCAA volleyball, making a good impact here in the second set.
Yeah, he hit that one right off the block. It dives perfectly on the side of the Bruins. But again, Humber, they're starting this run. They're going lengthy here.
Yeah, a couple of serves from Francis. And how about that for the ace? And that's, Zach, blink your eyes, and Humber have established a 5-point lead, and that's going to get a timeout call on the side of the Sheridan Bruins, as Liam Butchwright has seen enough of that run and trying to slow things down.
Yeah, it was going to be hard to slow things down there because the Hawks, they are dominating to say the least, playing a fantastic game so far. The first set was really just all the Hawks. In the second set here, it started off a little bit slow, and then they picked it up. I think they're passing Skittles out on the bench.
Well, it is the Breakfast of Champions, Zach.
Breakfast of Champions.
Let's take one more look here on the Hawks Sports Network replay. And Zach, it was just a couple of plays from Humber Hawks that lined up, especially that run of serves from Francis. You see him bumping it up there. But Loney, an absolute shot there. And that's a big part of why the Hawks have once again, a similar pattern emerging here compared to set number one, which is things neck and neck in the early going, but Humber establishing a lead. You know Sheridan's going to want to make a correction and not allow that similar dynamic to play out, because that worked out well for the Hawks to cruise to that first set victory.
Yeah, they played really well. And hey, look at that. A little close-up right there for Caleb. Got right up there in the camera.
Yeah, Hewitt right up in the kitchen. Having a good time there on that sideline for the Humber Hawks, is rooting on their team, and a lot to cheer for right now for both the Humber bench and the Humber faithful here at the Hawks Nest. A women's team win earlier this evening as they won in 3 straight sets, and Francis with another service ace. So that's 2 here on this run of serves alone, Zach.
Yeah, Francis, again, this is what we saw in the women's game as well. The timeouts called, it didn't really work to slow down the momentum.
And almost finding that back line, but close. Only counts in bocce ball, Zach, or is it horseshoes?
Horseshoes and, is it hand grenades? Is that the saying? I can't remember.
And put in play, Blackmore able to pop it up, and he'll get a chance at the net, and he will make good on that chance, beating the block. So racking up the early season points is that man right there with the sleeve and the new tattoo on his left arm, Zach.
He's had that. He's had that for a while. Just the sleeves were covering it.
And sent in hard, and Humber trying to get under it, but KGP not able to give it a shot, and the ball is stuck, Zach. No, it's been dislodged.
It took a couple of hops there where I thought for a second it was going to get caught.
Good hang time.
Yeah, a fantastic hang time.
And that serve handled by McAlpine, and he'll get an opportunity to send that in deep. Serve came from Andrew Bonney, and the block is there. McAlpine all over it, and the 6'8" big fella for Humber, another big contribution.
Yeah, McAlpine, I mean, you can hear the boom come down from the bench when he makes that block good, because that's exactly what it was, a booming block.
Zach, Coach Wilkins, see this cool jersey design the Humber Hawks have. Coach Wilkins
even the coaches have
even has that design. Yeah, the whole staff on their golf shirts.
It's awesome.
And gonna find the inside of that line on a cross-court shot, brilliantly executed. Gavin Elzinga helping out there. Back at the line is the rookie, Cowan Reimer, pardon me. Zach, we're seeing things kind of back and forth here, but Humber still with a 4-point lead. You know Sheridan's looking to make a dent here and flip the script. Can't allow this scoring dynamic to be the case late in the set. You know Sheridan's not going to want to see that play out. Into the net. So back to a 5-point lead for the Birds. Loney had some good serves in his last chance at the line. That is put in the middle, popped up by Kyle. And on the other side, Michael McAlpine puts a lot of heat on it. And that's deflected up into one of the championship banners here. I believe it hit the 2014-2015 National Championship banner for men's cross country.
Good friend of ours is on that banner, Jake Thompson.
Shout out to The voice of the Raptors 905.
Or as I like to call him, Mr. 905.
I thought that was Pitbull.
That's 305.
Ah, man. Math is hard.
Numbers are a hard thing.
Loney, another serve as Humber now up by 7. And this is trouble for Sheridan as the #1 ranked team in the province is looking hot here on this Wednesday evening. And we want to thank you all for watching here on the Hawk Sports Network. A little bit of a contested point there.
I think they're going to say that McAlpine hit the net.
You know, Zach, the Golden Bachelorette is on tonight, so our viewers have a lot of options in terms of what they could be watching, and they're right here with us on HSN.
We appreciate all of you dearly.
But I do hope Joan finds love on the Golden Bachelorette. Serve on the way here. As that's put into play by David. And a hard shot there, and who else? Taven Blackmore puts a lot on that one.
Yeah, Blackmore, the last couple seasons, he's had unfortunate luck when it came to injuries. And I talked to him a little bit in the offseason about it, you know, how you're preparing to stay healthy, what you're looking for coming into this season. And I think he just wants to continue to elevate his play. And that was kind of the main message I got across from him, was just continue to elevate the play and continue to play his game.
In play here. And that is set up for Tong. Humber regrouping. Segui keeps it in play, and Jagger tried to find an opening, but the good blocking effort for the Bruins will earn them the point.
Bruins, again, this is something we saw in the last set. They're hanging in there. You know, it's not necessarily close right now. They're still down by 6. But for the most part, this is a different Bruins team. This is not the same team we saw last year go 3-15.
In play here. Michael McAlpine got a piece of it, setting it up. Pardon me, that was Hewitt helping to tee that thing up, and Humber ultimately winning the point. Hewitt, you might remember, was staring right down the barrel of the camera moments ago at the beginning of the second set. Kyle Gray-Phillips now ready to blast this one away from the service line. And he's gonna hit that one a little short, Zach. Not sure if he teed that one up a little out of reach.
Yeah, KGP, another one of those guys that just has an electric serve. We've seen a couple of them over the years. We see a couple of them so far tonight.
Great look there as that serve's put in play. Popped up by the first-year player, the libero by way of Kharkiv, Ukraine, Mikhailo Saidov. And Saidov will check out for the moment. And in now at the service line is Nazir Francis. Also in the game, Paul Manna for the Hawks, wearing number 6. With Kyle Gray-Phillips checking out momentarily. Francis, good looking serve, scooped up by the Bruins. And right back to Reimer, kept alive here. That's put right in the middle, and Hewitt tried to keep it in a good spot, but just out of reach.
Yeah, Blackmore, he tried to get any hand he could to that second ball, but it was just out of his fingertips.
And here we are, a 6-point lead. So kind of Groundhog Day for the Bruins compared to the first set, as Humber sitting pretty with a nice cushion, inching towards a set victory here. Played well. Manna teed it up, and it's Blackmore finishing the play with an absolute smash.
Yeah, that one by Blackmore registered on the gun at 110. No, I'm just kidding. It looked like that, though. There is so much power coming on the swing from Taven Blackmore. And, I mean, this is just a player that's gone stronger and better every single year.
Nathan Jagger serving for Humber. and able to get a good piece of that one. Handled by Sheridan. And a little bit of confusion. The wires crossed there, and this will give a nice free ball for Humber, and Blackmore will convert on that. Another serve here from Jagger. And he's going to put that one into the net. So 7-point lead is what we're working with. Checking into the game is, once again, the rookie libero Saidov by way of Ukraine. Zach, I lived in Ukraine for a few months. Don't know if you knew that about me.
I did not, actually. Work-related or just to live out there?
Just personal reasons, my brother. 2-month stint in Odessa along the Black Sea. Beautiful country. Checking into the game now. Number 14, Jake Butt, by way of St. John's, Newfoundland.
Shout out. That's where my family's from. Good old Port-au-Port.
Atlantic, Canada. Popped up high, Segui waving him off. Sets it up here for Manny. As Mana able to get it over. Off the net play. Reimer sends it to Humber's back line. Now teed up front. And Mana got a piece of it, but the Bruins will be the victors on that rally. 3 points away from taking a commanding 2-0 sets lead. And that's going to be way out of play. Blackmore on the bench played it, almost was telling Nathan Yeager, why don't you not crash into the bench right now, dude?
Blackmore, I think he thought he was still on the floor in the starting
you
six.
know those instincts.
That swing came off the arm. 87.
The
lightly.
hypothetical radar gun from my broadcast partner, Zach. Clocking the speeds of some of these powerful shots by the Humber offense. Zach, a Humber offense that is now 2 points away. 23-16 is our official score here. Make that 23-17.
Yeah, they're closing in, and these two sets, they feel like they've gone by relatively quickly, too. These two teams just kind of attacking the ball right now.
Well, Zach, certainly a tall mountain to climb to come back in the second set for the visiting team in double blue, and I think Coach Wilkins for Humber can taste it. It's getting close here, the second set win, and even closer now. And that'll bring to the service line Caleb Hewitt, second year with the Humber Hawks. Up at the net now, near side, good blast, and Hewitt right under it. And Jagger not able to get it over. And Sheridan stays alive here, the set point on the line.
Oh, all the pressure right back on the side of the Bruins here. Can't mess up any of the serves here. We've seen that it's been a little bit of an issue for them in this second set and to end that first set.
And that is off Mana and out of play. A lot of power on that serve, and Zach, the Bruins stringing together some late set points here. A chance to make this a tight finish here in set number 2. No margin for error for the team in double blue. Serve on the way from Gavin Elzinga. And that error will seal the deal on set number 2. Humber in a commanding 2 sets lead. That'll bring us into our brief intermission here, Zach. And how do you like that? The continued play from the Humber Hawks is just offensive output, establishing a big lead, capturing the set.
Yeah, and I mean, this is exactly what the Humber Hawks have been doing for the last couple of years. I think last year, there was a turning point in the season. You know, they finished the year 12-6, but a lot of those losses came early on in the year. And once they started kind of finding their game, finding their rhythm and their flow, it kind of felt like this team can take off any second. And that was the mindset a lot of the players had too, was that they were right there early on, but nothing seemed to be clicking, or there was injuries to players. And you know what? They look like another solid squad again this year. It's just this year, they're clicking right away. When you look at everything they've done, we're getting a great shot of the coaches right there.
Doing some paperwork right now.
Doing some paperwork. They're doing a lot more important things than me and Mr. Matt Hamill are doing, but we're having fun here at the Hawks Nest.
Yeah, what a great time, Zach. We're back in the gym, the first home game of the season for either Humber volleyball or basketball, these electric OCAA sports that bring us into the great energy we have here at the Hawks Nest. And so good to be back. There's a look at some of the fans filing in. And it is always great to get back in the nice climate-controlled environment. There on the right side of your screen, some Humber volleyball veterans, alumni, you could say, is honored pre-game, where some of those players for the Hawks that are now watching from the stands here, Zach. But always great to see so many players for the Hawks finish their playing days and they stick around, Zach. The kind of family atmosphere, and quite literally with the Wilkins family, a family atmosphere, as 7 members of the Wilkins family have played volleyball for the Humber Hawks. Wayne is the coach of the men's team. Chris, a coach of the women's team. And then we just saw the newest rendition of the Humber Hawks volleyball Wilkins legacy is Taya Wilkins in her first year on the women's team.
You got to wonder, how does that feel? You know all the pressure with your family, the history that your family has with Humber volleyball, and you're coming as the 7th member of a long lineage. That put any added pressure, especially now that you know your dad's the coach as well.
Well, at any rate, very cool to see, and cool to see a lot of returning Humber Hawks players in the gym here supporting on this Humber team, who have so far had a great home opening night. The women's team captured a 3 straight sets victory. The men poised to perhaps do the same as they enter the 3rd set with a 2 sets lead. This Humber team have won their first 2 games of the season on the road, now here at home. And what remains true is this men's team huddled up right here have yet to lose a set. The 4-time reigning 4 consecutive provincial championships. Hey, Zach, little showing some love to the camera. So we're getting a new.
These guys are pretty camera friendly. They like to entertain. They had a great celebration where I think it was Caleb. He was swinging a golf club
crazy,
and everybody's yelling 4. And I said, hey, I did that a couple days ago. Didn't end well, but it probably ended better for them than it did for me.
And it will be Sheridan serving to start things out here. And number 17, Andrew Bonney, by way of Georgetown. Another one of those first-year players, many rookies on the roster for Sheridan. And Blackmore able to set it up. And he'll get set up at the net and can't beat the block. So a good defensive play for Sheridan to open up set number 3.
Yeah, and Sheridan, they need to kind of get back to their basics and back to what made them successful in their early stages. They were able to get some runs and some rallies, and I think the key thing is you got to try to shut down number 16.
Blackmore plays it up. Nick Alpine hits it into the deep end of the court. Block was in the mix. The official ruling it a point for the Hawks. Now serving will be Hewitt. Up high at the net now. Well played by Elzinga, and that's going to earn Sheridan the point. So here's Cohen Reimer. And will send it long. So 2-2 is where we stand. Now Zach and Humber once again go back and forth early in the set, but create some separation early. Blackmore, as we know him to be a dangerous man, bad man from the service line, but has been sending him long here today.
Yeah, just a little bit too much power.
Almost like a three-point shooter that just known for that downtown range, but just can't quite get dialed in. And stepping up and up high in the air and dangerously close to the stands, but kept alive by Sheridan. Free ball for the Hawks. Blackmore gives it a soft touch, and a little scrambled eggs there on the Sheridan side as that's going to hit the turf and tie this thing back up.
Yeah, it's just back and forth these two teams go here in this third set. This is kind of how we saw the first two sets start. It was kind of punch for punch, and the Humber Hawks and the Bruins. And that's again what we're seeing here. Each of these teams is kind of going punch for punch early on in this third set.
Yes, sir. Paulo Brass, the Brazilian, by way of Santos, Brazil. First-year player in for the serve, and we'll check back out. Serving now is Elzinga for Sheridan. One of the few veteran players on this Sheridan team in his fourth year, and the rally is going to go in favor of the Hawks. Give full credit to Bonnie for diving for it, but Humber is going to be happy with that result. One more look here at some recent action. That was that last point. You see that dive at the end,
yeah,
so
they were
lots
really
of heart
trying
on display.
For it. Very much were trying for it.
That now brings up number 10, Kenma Tong. Tong and the Bruins have a 1-point lead here. Hewitt sets it up for McAlpine, tries to send it deep. Well played by Sheridan. At the net here for Elzinga. And that's going to careen into some student cheering section there. And point for the Bruins.
Over into the women's volleyball team.
So 5 kills for Gavin Elzinga. That's a team high for Sheridan. They now find themselves up by 2.
Yeah, he was their star player last year, and he's kind of shown that again here this year. Elzinga is continuing off where he left off in the OCAA last year.
And that will bring Humber back within 1, and Kyle Gray-Phillips up here. 3rd in team scoring on the year. Entered today with 1 service ace. Played here. Good hit by Tong. And that will get the job done as the Bruins reestablish that 2-point lead.
It's around this middle portion of the set is kind of when we've seen Humber roll and go on some runs. So it'd be interesting to see here if the Bruins kind of clean that up, or is Humber going to answer back and do what they've been doing for the first 2 sets.
Kyle Gray-Phillips tees it up. And Blackmore is able to put it in the right spot. It was a diving play by Elzinga, but not able to get it done. And we're going to have a pause in the action while Elzinga does the mop job.
Yeah, and right there, that's just, you have to respect Taven Blackmore's power in that instance. And then when he comes up there just tipping it while still going through the motion of a full swing, you got to respect the power and back up a little bit. And he just caught the entire offense off track right there. That's a phenomenal play.
So here comes the serve from Nazir Francis. And he will send that about a foot long. And Bruins back up by 2. Bonnie serving now. Andrew Bonnie just kind of hits that right off the cusp of that net, and Blackmore steps in with an absolute banger.
That one registered in at 117 off the arm of Taven Blackmore.
Kilometers per hour or miles per hour?
At this point, I think it's miles.
Or Kelvin.
Or Kelvin.
And good effort there, but sent long once again. Again, service errors aplenty in the first 3 sets of this game by both teams. Popped up. Good quick play there by the Brazilian, Apollo Brass. As far as first names go, Apollo is about as good as it gets. Hawk Sports Network replay, Zach. Well executed by the freshman. Representing South America. And well placed, that is just out of the reach of Humber's back line.
Yeah, it looked like Taven was in the back line right there, or might have been Taven or KGP, but nonetheless, those two back there just couldn't get to it. It was a quick move.
Ogabort sets it up. McAlpine tries to get a crack on it, but a good block by Sheridan. McAlpine, another fabulous play, keeps it alive and gives Kyle Gray Phillips a chance. Set up again for Kyle Gray Phillips, and the block won't get it done. Humber within a point here. And now serving, it'll be Apollo. Brass will send that long. Like Michael McAlpine, the two tallest fellas on the team, both standing 6'8". Elzinga's serve wide left. So Humber back within one. Zach, a little bit of a different dynamic here. In the first and second set, Humber would have already had a pretty juicy lead at this time. I'd like to give a shout out to McAlpine Nation watching in Belleville, who I'm almost convinced, Zach, are kind of split screening their TV with Golden Bachelorette and the men's volleyball game here. Well placed cross-court shot, and Ken Matong finding some hardwood.
Yeah, another look at it right here. It just went straight down the line. That is a really, really beautiful kill over the net. And you kind of see KGP. He's like, what can I do there? Can't really get to that one.
Tong sends it long. And Humber kind of hanging in here. One thing you got to give the Humber Hawks credit for, not allowing Sheridan to create any separation, but pretty neck and neck right here, almost midway through the set.
Yeah, and this is kind of just the Hawks, playing a little bit down. They're not playing the game we know that they can play. So it'll be big to see if they can get it. And they're just trading service errors right now.
But not bad from Sheridan. I mean, if they want to see this pattern of play continue, that could serve them well. One thing Sheridan wants is to just avoid a repeat of what we've seen in set number 1 and 2. And thus far, mission accomplished in that regard. Is much closer here midway through the set. Blackmore, absolute beauty that time, as he's able to hit a very nice shot, finding that back line. That brings up Nazir. Up front at the net for Sheridan, and a big shot beating the blockers is Cohen Reimer.
Yeah, it just seems they're just trading points right now. 1 point each, going back and forth here, the Bruins and the Hawks. No team has been able to break away. This might be the most contested set we've seen so far tonight.
Indeed, partner, 14-12 in favor of the Bruins. Another big shot from Blackmore, that time partially blocked, giving Sheridan a chance. Kyle Gray-Phillips pops it up. Hewitt to McAlpine. On the far side now, and miss hit by Elzinga, who's, as we mentioned, leading the way for Sheridan alongside Reimer here tonight, both with 5 kills. Tied for a team high, but too long that time. Teed up, a couple of Humber blockers in the mix. Hewitt, after the serve, was right there to keep this rally alive for Humber. And pushed long, no, Zach, it's just inside. And that will put an end to Hewitt's run of serves.
And again,
it's a 2-point lead. Sorry,
it's just the 1 point. That's what it kind of we keep seeing happen here. Sheridan will bust out to a 2-point lead, and then the Hawks, they'll get one back, and that's what we keep seeing going back and forth here.
Okay, whistled in. Reimer with a great-looking serve. That just grazing the net. And Blackmore, no choice but to just dump it over. Free ball for the Bruins. Elzinga, the Hawks stumbling right here. It's the biggest lead of the set now for Sheridan. 3. Biggest lead of the game, and that will bring a timeout from the Humber Hawks and some good vibes on that Sheridan bench as they kind of have the Hawks on their heels a little bit here in set number 3. One more look here, and that was the play that did it. Coach Wayne Wilkins seen enough and wants to regroup with the timeout. We'll see how that works out here. Great second look there on our Hawks Sports Network replay.
Yeah, it's been a fun one so far. These two teams kind of just going back and forth here in the third set. And again, credit the Bruins. They're putting up a fight, and that's kind of, I think, all that head coach Liam Butchwright wanted to see. Just put up a fight against this really, really talented Humber Hawks team.
Well, Zach, if you are privy to anybody watching at home on the Hawks Sports Network YouTube channel, why don't you go ahead and hit the old subscribe button, because we're going to have a lot
Make
more
sure to
action.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Well, Zach, I mean, we have a lot more OCAA action to come here.
Tons.
The volleyball season now well underway. Humber basketball will also be back in the mix.
They're actually across the town right now over in Sheridan. Last I saw, the women's team was winning over the Bruins.
Little early season rivalry matchup, not giving the season any time to...
Exactly. They're just going right after it.
There's a look at some of the assistant coaches for Sheridan. And head coach Liam Butchwright standing up near the play, and out of the timeout, Zach. Humber is going to get a point courtesy of a Taven Blackmore serve.
And this would be big here for the Hawks. Blackmore, his serves have been a little bit off so far tonight. How about a big rally here?
Yeah.
Try to get your side the momentum again.
Deep breath from Blackmore. And puts it in a good spot, and that's going to give Kyle Gray-Phillips a good chance. Whistle down in favor of the Hawks, a violation, 4 touches for the Bruins.
That's a big one right there. So now if you're Blackmore, use that as a momentum boost. Go forward and go on a little bit of a run.
After that timeout, 2 straight points for Humber. Let's see if this man can get on a run of serves. Puts that in play, handled by Tong. And Tong reaching for that one, but a little out of his grasp. And 3 straight will tie things up. Boy, how's that for a timeout working the way you draw it up?
Yeah, that's magical right there by head coach Chris Wilkins. Oh, excuse me. I was looking at my wrong paper. Got all my papers kerfuffled over here. Wayne Wilkins.
We are amidst a kerfuffle at the broadcast booth, and for Sheridan Bruins, maybe kind of feeling the same way as letting this third set slip away in the last few plays, and they're going to call a timeout, Zach, try to reset.
Yeah, Humber, they've gone on a 4-point lead, and it's because of the man right there on your screen, Taven Blackmore. The serves have been electrifying. Humber playing at a really good pace right now. And, you know, they needed a timely run, and I think this might be it. Blackmore's having fun. He's Millie rocking on the bench with Jagger.
Well, you could say he's got
Moves like Jagger.
Look at some of the fans here out on the home opener night of the Hawks as this Humber men's team is aiming to capture their 5th straight OCAA championship. They've won 4 in a row and a lot more before that as well in the history books of men's volleyball supremacy for the Hawks. Good play up at the net there. This was some good play from Sheridan, but that was, yeah, ultimately that 4-touch play. So for the first time tonight, ooh, love that. Zoom in on that ball, baby. And Blackmore with a good shot. Kyle Gray-Phillips sending it long. So that will put an end to what has up until now been the most impressive run of serves from Blackmore all night long. Ultimately, Zach, mission accomplished. We are in a neck-and-neck game here late in the 3rd set.
Yeah, and that one was a beautiful pancake. I couldn't really see who it was, but a fantastic defensive play by the Hawks.
Let's see if Sheridan can regroup. How's that for a play up front at the net? Elzinga with a big block for the double blue. Teed up, coming in from that back line was Tay, and that is good enough for another kill from number 16.
Man, that is such a violent approach. This swing has so much power behind it.
Yeah, explosive. I mean, you're talking about a player in Tay Blackmore who stands 6'3", so not an overly tall guy by volleyball standards, but he is combining that with an explosive athletic disposition, vertical leap. Just again, sometimes when he hops up there, pretty crazy to watch, but that time Humber's gonna like the result, not able to get it over the net. Some well-positioned blockers for Humber.
Paul Mano, we saw him go on some runs last year at the service line. He's trying to do it again right here, create some space between the Hawks and the Bruins in a critical point in this game.
Mana puts it in play, up front at the net. Tong puts it inside, and that is going to really bode well for Sheridan as they tie things back up at 19. Apollo checks out of the game, and Mikhailo Saidov, the rookie libero, in for Humber. Serve from Elzinga, and Gavin is going to put that out of play, and Humber wins the battle to the race to 20. But Zach, can they win the race to 25 here and put this one away in 3 straight sets? Here's Michael McAlpine. Great looking blast there, handled well though by Sheridan. Gavin steps up, and that's kind of mishandled by Segui. Sheridan now with the crack at it. Tong sends that down. Big shot. And Tong blasted that one as both teams are now at the 20-point mark.
This is just a back and forth affair. Look at this. Tong goes wide, and McAlpine just couldn't handle it. It's something we don't typically see out of big number 4.
Well played. That's going to be a quick touch. Humber is pleading their case. I think the official accidentally maybe gave the point to Sheridan in direction, at least signaled that way. But
yeah, he initially pointed down and then said it was out. But no, the head ref said, nope, I'll make the call. That was in on the line. Big crucial serves right here for KGP. Create yourself at least a point, or excuse me, 2-point difference.
Yeah, these points are monumental at this stage of the game. You know, Sheridan is looking to mount the comeback, but that's not going to help their cause. Hewitt and Francis right there on the block.
Yeah, that's a massive block and a big time. And Butchright, he's going to call the timeout to try to slow things down.
Yeah, he will spend his final timeout. And here's a look at some of the late play from Humber in this 3rd set. there's Hewitt right there alongside Nazir Francis.
Yeah, fantastic block.
Coach Wayne happy with the dynamic thus far, but Zach, right now it's closeout time for the Humber Hawks, and this is a time of the set where, boy, oh boy, the pressure is so high. No margin for error, and we'll see which team responds here. Sheridan have once again found themselves in a little bit of a late set hole. This is the closest set of the game so far.
But it's going to be a tough mountain to climb because the Humber Hawks, they know they're 3 points away from sweeping this and going 6-0 set count on the day against the Bruins. And I think the men's team, they would love to try and do it.
Look at the fans there having a good time, and Humber fans especially have been having a great time tonight as they're hoping to see 6 sets of volleyball won by exclusively Humber teams. But it's a tight finish here. Sheridan up at the net, giving it to Reimer. And he is blocked once again. That near side blocking unit for Humber being very stout here late in the match.
Oh yeah, that's just been electric. The wall. We don't have the center, or I keep saying center, the middle here anymore. Jaskar and Kalsi use the great wall of Humber.
Yeah, 6'10". Kalsi was quite the addition in his years at the Hawks, but some shoes to fill, and Humber has been looking great so far in this young part of the season.
Oh, Hawks, they've built themselves that distance, and they are match point.
Here we go. This could put it away, 24-20, and KGP with the ball in hand, taking some time to think about it. Uncorks one, handled by Tong. Up at the net here for Reimer. KGP with a bit of an awkward set there. He's not happy with himself. As a missed opportunity to put the game away, we'll give the ball back to the Bruins.
But all the pressure goes on to the Bruins here because they can't miss a serve now. Have to go perfect if they want to stay alive in this game.
Want to put it in play, but as you mentioned, the pressure can really add up in a situation like this. The Humber fans making some noise here as Thompson tries to put it in play, and he will not succeed. The point is going to go to the Bruins.
No, yeah, it's going to be an out of rotation. So that is a massive break for Sheridan.
Yeah, that is a potentially critical mistake, as that could breathe some life into Sheridan if they're able to claw back here. Now down only 2. And 2 long, and that will be it. The Humber Hawks win in 3 straight sets, improving to 3-0 on the season. Outstanding offense really led the way. And Zach, it was a wonderful way to open up the home portion of the season here at the Hawks Nest.
Yeah, I go 6-0 on the day against the Sheridan Bruins. They played extremely well. Sheridan, in that final set, they gave them a run for their money. But the Hawks, they held on, and they go 6-0 set count on the day, continue to play their hot ways. Fantastic way to end it. And partner, another fantastic day in the Hawks Nest.
Well, want to give one more shout out to our HSN crew, the BRTV students. A lot of them work in some of these broadcast roles for the first time. You wouldn't know it based on some of the great coverage we've had here today. It's been an honor covering this game with you. Thanks for watching. For my broadcast partner, Zach Benoit, myself, Matt Hamill, and everybody involved in the broadcast here, the Humber Polytechnic Broadcasting Program. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.